I guess our new movie is an origin story.
Every hero should have one.
I want The Rock to play me.
Never gonna happen.
So I wasn't really planning on doing a video on Scoob, but I figured since I'm a sucker for Scooby-Doo and have a lot to say on the topic, why not? Scoob was Warner Brothers' first theatrically released animated Scooby-Doo film. At least it was gonna be until COVID happened. Now it's just another straight-to-digital film, but at least with some stellar animation. I was really looking forward to Scoob. This film's been in production for quite a while now, and as someone who loves old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, I was looking forward to see how Warner Brothers' planned Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe would pan out. It seemed like a fairly simple concept. Previous Scooby-Doo movies and shows like Mystery Incorporated had already done similar crossovers and executed it quite well. It seemed nearly impossible to fuck up. With Scoob being such a big deal, me and my siblings made a big night out of it. We grabbed some snacks and prepared to watch what should have been an enjoyable movie. But the movie we got wasn't very good, even by Scooby-Doo standards, and those are some low standards. Scoob is a complete mess, another film that's more concerned with creating a cinematic universe than it is with telling a coherent story. There's plenty of problems that this movie had, most specifically in the script department, that was probably a result of a troubled production. A lot of the voices felt miscast, the story never slows down to develop its characters, a lot of the humor consisted of references that either felt outdated or outright cringy. I know a lot of people hate that word, but I don't know how else to describe it. When I saw this film was being directed by Tony Cervone, whose credits before this was mostly directing some straight-to-video Tom and Jerry movies, I had my concerns. But now that I've seen the film, I've come to the conclusion that with the script they had, almost anyone could have directed this and it would have been a mess. If I have anything positive to say about Scoob, I will say that I really liked the look of it. The animation, for the most part, was really smooth, and while I wasn't a big fan of the redesigns upon looking at the promotional material, the style quickly grew on me, and it's a shame that it was wasted on a movie like this. But I think the biggest and most important question I had after watching Scoob was, who is this for? Scoob is not a Scooby-Doo movie. There's no mystery of any kind, and too much focus is put on Blue Falcon and Dynamite for one to care about Mystery Inc. There's a small attempt at developing these characters towards the beginning by giving them an origin story, but the origin story is so rushed and unnecessary. It doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know beyond, yes, these characters met at some point and started solving mysteries together. The movie assumes that a lot of the people watching this will already have vast knowledge of Scooby-Doo. Of course, a lot of older fans like me will have, but what this movie doesn't consider is that this could be some kid's introduction to Scooby-Doo, and if that's the case, a lot of the jokes here won't make any sense. The movie doesn't just assume you've watched Scooby-Doo, as it also makes the assumption that you've seen old Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Blue Falcon and Dynamite, or Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. You know, shows that no child below the age of 12 have probably even heard of. The movie dumps so much exposition on its viewers so fast. Blue Falcon and Dynamite just appear because they've just always existed in this world. We see Shaggy's action figures of them towards the beginning, but no one ever says that superheroes exist in the world of Scooby-Doo, so when it does happen, we just kind of have to accept it. Dick Dastardly as the villain is another aspect just dumped in rushed exposition. Supposedly he just exists as a villain outside of Wacky Races. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I was expecting something along the lines of Spider-Verse, where a portal opens and all these different dimensions start crossing over. But no, these characters just all simply exist in the same world, and the execution of it is awful. Hanna-Barbera cartoons, while they do have a small fan base, aren't quite as popular as they were 50 years ago. The generation that grew up with these cartoons were Gen X kids, and most of these people are like super old now. The chances of them wanting to watch an animated Scooby-Doo movie in the godforsaken year of 2020 are extremely low. Let's say a 60-year-old man or woman did want to check out this movie simply because these cartoons meant a lot to their childhood. Well, then one also has to consider the many changes made to these characters. With the exception of the Scooby-Doo cast, none of these characters are the same anymore. Blue Falcon and Dynamite's dynamic are reversed, another thing that will probably fly over children's heads. There's also a Rush throwaway line that suggests that this Blue Falcon is actually the son of the original, which I guess kind of explains him being drastically different, but if your plan is to reboot these characters for the modern age, why even bother? I actually like these characters in the movie the most, especially Mark Wahlberg as Blue Falcon, who gave off strong Captain Quark celebrity superhero vibes. They're also accompanied by Dee Dee Sykes, who is actually a character from Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, but with her design being different and her having absolutely nothing to do with Captain Caveman or solving mysteries, it really makes you wonder what her purpose is in the movie. Maybe she was connected to a Captain Caveman spin-off they were gonna make, although I doubt that's still gonna happen. Captain Caveman also makes an appearance, and he's completely different as well, speaking in clear English and not just caveman garble. It made the Hanna-Barbera nerd in me uncomfortable. The end credits of this movie had me especially confused as it showcases illustrations featuring Hanna-Barbera characters that were unused in the film, like Jabberjaw or Dr. Quest. I have no idea why anyone approved of it, so few people are going to get it. On top of those issues, this movie relies on a lot of pop songs, which, yeah, I understand it's a kids movie, but it really doesn't fit the tone of Scooby-Doo at all. I can't help but feel like either the people working on this didn't really care about Scooby-Doo, or that there was just a lot of studio meddling involved. Although if I am going to be fair, the live action movies also had music that was very much of the time. It really is a shame when a lot of the direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movies are better written than a supposed theatrical release. If Scoob wanted to play it safe, I really feel it should have gone with the classic Scooby-Doo formula. I understand superheroes are a big deal right now, but none of that matters when your film is a mess. I've said in a previous video that Scooby-Doo works best when sticking to the formula, and I think Scoob is only further proof of that. So who is this movie for? I don't know. Nobody, I guess. Though I think there are plenty of kids out there who will enjoy Scoob for its fast-paced energy, but I feel like most people above the age of 10 will recognize some of this movie's many flaws. After all these years, we still don't have a Scooby-Doo movie as good as Zombie Island, and that's really unfortunate. I even prefer the live-action movies to this one, and I'm just as surprised as you that I'd say that. Although Monsters Unleashed is kind of a masterpiece.
I'm buff!
Thank you to everyone who watched. I'm gonna go into hiding until the next theatrical Scooby-Doo movie comes out. Goodbye.